Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Zentangle Explore. This is a class where we explore one Zentangle pattern really slowly. Using any pen that you have, I have several options. I even have a pen from Staples, and then I have a little bit of a fancier pen with a 01 Micron or a Sharpie. Whatever it is that you have will be just perfect, and little pieces of paper. And if you draw like bigger pieces of paper, that's fine too. So something you can hold in the palm of your hand. So we can draw multiples and we can fill the space as much as we want and then move on. So we're going to begin with just a little brief meditation. So a little breathing and sitting, and then we will start drawing. So get nice and comfortable in your seat or wherever you are in your space. You can close your eyes if you like. I'm going to close mine. And we're just going to settle in just for a few minutes and bring our full attention into the space that we're in, settling fully into our bodies and noticing our breath. So perhaps feel the space that you're sitting on, where your bottom touches the chair or the floor, or wherever you are. Perhaps your feet are touching the floor. Just notice that connection point. Say hello, floor. Hello, seat. And notice your breath. Maybe you're inhaling. Maybe you're exhaling. Bring your attention to where you can feel that breath in your body. Perhaps you can feel it in your chest or your belly. Your body expands to allow in new oxygen, new creativity. Maybe you can feel it on the exhale. Your body contracts just a little bit, pushing that air out into the world to feed the plants and the trees. And maybe while you're inhaling and exhaling, you'll notice that itty bitty tiny little rest at the top of the inhale before the nice gentle exhale. And again at the bottom of the exhale before the nice climbing inhale. However it is you're experiencing your breath, just allow it to be exactly as it is. And as we bring our attention fully and completely from the top of our head all the way down to the bottom of our toes, from our head to our eyes to our nose, to our jaw to our shoulders, to our elbows to our wrists, to our chest to our belly. Bring that attention and that beautiful breathing flow to your hips, to your thighs, to your knees, your shins, to your heels, the bottoms of your feet, and to your toes. Noticing all of those connection points as you gently breathe. And allow your body to relax. And allow your attention to rest fully here in this moment. And when you're ready, let's take a big inhale together. And a nice sighing exhale, making noise if you wish to. Oh. Nice big inhale together. Sighing exhale. One last big inhale together. Sighing nice and loud if you'd like to. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes, knowing that whatever we create together will be perfect just as it is. Okay, thank you for breathing with me. It's always super helpful before we begin to draw. So I'm going to change my camera view and we will begin. Okay, so I have my paper, I have my pen. There it is. Can't tell if it's right side up or upside down on the camera. Okay, so we are going to start. This is a beautiful little pattern that's super simple. And because of its simplicity, it gives us an opportunity to really explore broadly. So I'm going to teach it to you, and then you can draw whatever it is that you would like to draw. So this pattern is called Arium, and it's by Hiroko Matsuo, CZT, who I believe lives in Japan. So we're going to start, I'm going to start at the edge of my paper, but you could start wherever you like. And we're going to start with these nice little, slow little kind of S curves. And this is a continuous line tangle, and it's organic, which means that you can make it look whatever you want it to look like. I'm going to start out really simply here. Just these little undulating shapes, almost like a wild puzzle piece. And then within this space, there are these little dark spots, and they can be wherever you want them to be. And the maker of this tangle named it Arium because it reminded her of sea life. And so Arium is the end of aquarium. So that's our first one. And if we want to draw one behind, we can just start right from wherever we wish to here. As if that shape is already started and flowing behind this first one. You can see that these can pile up quite quickly. I'm going to show you a new way to do these little dots. If you want, you can draw a nice little circle or an oval, and then add some darkening on one side, and it makes it look like a little hole. And these can be wherever you want them to be inside this shape. And so you can ask yourself, there's not a lot of dark here except for these spaces, but there are opportunities to add some thickening of these little spaces here, wherever these sides meet. There's also the opportunity to add some little bit of emphasis around where these shapes overlap. So wherever you're being called to add a little bit of shading or darkening or even color, this is a wonderful pattern for layering colors on top of each other. Even if the only color you have is from a highlighter. Highlighters, I love drawing with highlighters. And then there's also the opportunity to just smooth out some of these little corners where these lines meet. I have a little bit of a shaky hand today, and I'm just going to embrace that shake and just allow it to be. You do not need to begin, you don't have to draw from one side. You can move the tile around, draw from any which way. There's no right side up or upside down in Zentangle. You can make these shapes really big. You can make them really small. You can draw them in front of each other and behind each other. You can make them tall or skinny or thicker. You can give them sharp angles or angular angles or rectangular or triangular angles. What's lovely about an organic shape like this is it really gives you the opportunity to play with what it looks like and to challenge yourself to say, well, I already drew that shape 3 times, so what if I tried a new shape? I made these little arms or tentacles or whatever you want to call them. What if I made them go in the opposite direction? I made these opening squares or triangles. What if I filled one of them in black completely? What if I added bubbles outside of the shape? And so you can see here in the corner, this can either be negative space, so I could color this whole thing in black in the corner or a different color, or I could pretend that it's also one of these Arium shapes. And add some dots or holes to the inside. However you want to play with this pattern is up to you. Knowing that there is no wrong way to do this. You can play with auraing or mimicking these lines. Keeping your drawing nice and slow. Be mindful of that pen and how you're holding it. Really just exploring and allowing your line to go wherever it wants to go. Said there's no wrong way to do this. There's only your curiosity and willingness. To explore freely. So you can make these really complex or you can make them super simple. This one's a great opportunity. This has a great pattern, is a great opportunity for filling in negative space with a color or with black. I like to draw on watercolor paper because then I can go in and fill in with watercolor after class. You can start to bring those shapes behind each other. The original shape had this kind of blob-like quality, but getting to explore what if these edge of this shape had more tentacle-like arms to it. What would that look like? And I can find out because I have a pen. Whenever you want to start drawing on another piece of paper and begin a brand new exploration, you are welcome to do that. These shapes don't have to be big and fat and blobby. They can be more narrow, taller, thinner. I really love drawing aura lines. An aura line is just a line that mimics what came before. This is a wonderful pattern for exploring negative space between shapes. You already begin to notice that what I'm drawing is not really representative anymore except in concept to what I started drawing. And that's the really beautiful part about this class and exploring a pattern, because you get to start out with one thing and then just follow your imagination and your curiosity. You end up with something completely different in the end that you never would have expected to be drawing when you first looked at the pattern and said, I want to draw this. I find for me that it's often the case in my life. Start out in one direction. I think I'm going somewhere that I think I'm going. And I end up somewhere else. Even if I'm going on a road trip and just taking a simple drive to an appointment or visit a friend or go out to lunch, there's always something that happens out in the world that's a little different than what I expected. Maybe there's a detour because of road construction. Maybe there's a car stopped on the side of the road I didn't realize I would see. Maybe there's some wildlife crosses the road. Maybe I see an eagle flying by. I didn't know that any of those things were going to happen before I left the house. But when I'm open to them, I can be delighted when they do happen, allowing space for my expectations to change. And at any moment during this exploration, you are welcome to begin exploring in a new way. Say, really have enjoyed this part of my exploration, but what if I change this pattern and just a little bit more? Just breathing, bringing your attention back to your breath, allowing it to flow gently and easily. Conscious attention. Allowing whatever lines are showing up in the page in front of you to just be exactly as they are. It's a practice. Drawing is always a practice in allowing, especially when you draw, knowing that there's no eraser. There's no erasing in Zentangle because there's no mistakes. Just beautiful opportunities to accept what has shown up, embrace it, allow it to be there. And then ask what gift is this new line, this unexpected line here to give me? What new thing can I explore or discover because I didn't expect to make this mark on the page, and yet here it is. Looking at our drawing and our living in this way really softens the judgment and critique, removes those expectations, and allows our experience to be more pleasing and inviting. Can invite the line to be what it is. And we stop trying to change the line and force it to be something that it never wanted to be, or it doesn't actually need to be. Forcing never feels good. And in drawing, it's not at all necessary, especially when we're exploring. Exploring is automatically a success because you're always learning new information, finding out new ways of doing things that you didn't know you were going to find out in the beginning. It's what exploration is all about. Finding new lands, finding new possibilities, finding new strengths, finding resilience, experiencing something new. Life is so much more interesting when we embrace experiencing new things. Allowing the old things to go away. We've already done that. Whatever that is. You can change your pen width whenever you like. Using a thicker pen. Or a thinner pen, or a different colored pen. Or picking up a marker. Just drawing slow lines. Easy patterns. Exploring those what if questions that might pop into your mind as you draw. What if I added black here? What if I made that line thicker? What if I made this hole bigger? What if I drew off that side of the page? I did all of this with crayon. What if I loosen the grip on my pen? What if I allowed my lines to be exactly as they are? So, good job, lines. You are just perfect, exactly as you are. I love exploring with different pens. It gives you a new opportunity to experience a new tool, to see what it has to offer. It also allows me to really break out of that realm of expectation because a new pen, a thicker pen, doesn't act the same way as my really tiny little 0.1 micron. And so I have to adapt and adjust my expectations, and also I have to learn new ways of using the pen. So I'm always learning new things. I allow myself to explore with new materials. This pen I'm using right now is an Optiflow pen from Staples. There's nothing special about it. A nice wide nib on it, so it's got more ink flowing through it. I don't know if it's waterproof, permanent ink. So if I add watercolor behind this, I might want to be careful and try another. I have to try it on a different page to make sure. Otherwise, all of my black will smear, and maybe that's okay. Maybe I'm okay if my black smears. Maybe that will add a whole new dimension to this exploratory piece. So one of the things I like to do when I'm drawing is to ask myself, well, what haven't I explored? What new shape? What are the parameters of this shape? What's happening here? We have this undulating line that moves around. And then also we have the relationship between the shapes. So I'm playing a little bit with negative space here and aura lines between shapes, curving lines back on each other, which is quite pleasing to me. That's really all about what drawing is about, is what you are drawing pleasing to you. Not in an expectation way, but just in the physical sense of drawing way. Are you enjoying the shapes that you are making? Are you enjoying how the pen is flowing on the page? Are you exploring freely without judgment or expectation? Are you allowing yourself to, giving yourself the permission required to explore new things when they pop into your mind? So often when I'm drawing, we'll get an idea. Sometimes my brain will kick in and say, well, that's not going to work. Why would you waste your time doing that? And that is not a very helpful exploratory voice to listen to. And the idea will come back again after I've discarded it, and it'll come back again, and I'll say, okay, fine, I'll do that thing. Do whatever it is I'm becoming curious about. And when I do, I almost always find that I absolutely love it and it's delightful, and would have missed out had I just discarded it because I thought it wouldn't work. I can already tell this ink is smudging a little bit. That is okay. Gives me opportunity to add more dimension to it. And brings my awareness to the fact that I can be more mindful about where my hand is on the page, because that ink is wet and needs some time to dry before I put my fingers on it. And maybe you play with, well, what if I just draw on this one side of the page? Allow the other side to be more free and open. And go back and add colored pencil or marker or highlighter or watercolor to it. Maybe you want to play around with these holes and make them eyes like sea creatures, just for fun. Maybe they're not holes, but maybe they get colored in red or orange. Maybe the background is green or blue. Maybe the so-called water is yellow or purple. This is an exploration. This isn't something that is subject to the rules or the laws of nature or art or what should be. It's whatever you want it to be, whatever you want to explore. All of the great discoveries have been made when people are actually breaking the rules, allowing themselves to go outside of the rules, to explore something other than the rules. And you can do that every time you pick up a pen. And I find in my life that drawing in this way allows me to start questioning the rules of my life or the habits that I have created for myself and to choose something new. What I love about this pattern and this exploration is that it can be super simple, very simple shapes, or it can be really complex shapes, or you can meld them together. It's just an undulating line, and maybe you've taken it in a new direction and you're now drawing skyscraper, sea life with sharp angles and rectangles everywhere. Maybe your sea life has turned into triangles. Whatever it looks like is absolutely perfect. This pattern also gives us an opportunity to add weighting to the lines, meaning just making them thicker. So this pen that I'm using is smearing quite a bit. Which is just fine. And it also gives me the opportunity to ask, do I want my pen to be smearing? And maybe there's a different pen that I could be using. But for right now, just gonna let it be. So I draw really slow lines. There's no rush. Even when I draw as slow as I possibly can, I find that my lines pile up. And I'm creating something, so I don't need to be afraid of not having enough time. This is our exploration, our creativity time right now. Just allow whatever's happening to happen. Sometimes or often in life, we are at the moving at the through the dictates of somebody else's idea or agenda. And this is a time to practice just doing whatever you want to do. Just speaking of exploration, I have been exploring around the edges of my page, and I'm branching out into the middle just to see what happens if I don't have that anchoring edge to work with. Just breathing and allowing whatever's showing up to show up. Say hello, new line. I didn't expect to see you here, but you are welcome onto my page. Okay, here are my explorations. There they are. Hello, welcome back. Thank you for drawing with me. I'm so excited that you were able to join me. If you would like to draw more videos, you can see lots of patterns for Zentangle Explore on my YouTube page. And if you'd like to donate to this effort, you can at paypal.me/eternalpossibility. You can also find my other classes at eternalpossibility.com. All right, happy drawing, everybody. Bye.